Good morning, everyone. My name's Anne. I'm here at Atmosphere in our studio. Uh, it's a 9 a.m. class today. We're doing some working on our control and precision. So sometimes if I need to explain it a little bit more, I might need to stop the exercise and you continue to keep going. Use your options, making sure you want to feel there's no pain in the neck, back, or joints. So we're getting the movement with the control and the precision, which is three of the basic principles of Pilates. So let's get started by working on our just standing up nice and tall and doing a few stretches. So firstly, just tripods are on the feet underneath the hips. Knees are soft, shoulders down and back of the neck long, chin in. Let's go to the pelvis, pop your hands on your hips. So your knees are soft, your shoulders are still. Just take an inhale and tuck the pubic bone towards the belly button. Feel that lower back flatten, and then go back to that arching position. So what I want you to concentrate on is that your knees and shoulders are still, so it's not a whole body movement. It's the pelvis moving on top of those thigh bones. So the thighs aren't coming with me, they want to stay still, and my shoulders aren't moving. And you'll find that the movement is smaller, but it's more precise. It's not a whole body movement. And we just work into it. So the lower back is grounding, and then going back into the arch, because now the abdominals are working a little bit. So that's just your pelvic rock. And just stop there, bring your hands back down for me. Let's remember that T-zone, which I'm going to call it, horizontal line, vertical line. A lot of instructors will say zip the pelvic floor, scoop the abdominals. Whatever works for you, please use those cues. But for me, for quick reference, pelvic floor, lower abdominals lifted. Let's stand up nice and tall, and we're just going to lift our right arm up and lean over. So really think about the ribs expanding away from the ribs and getting that nice stretch, using those abdominals to come back up and swap it over to the other side, reaching up and over. So just go in between those two for me and keep going, using that breath to bring you back up. Floating the arm up, separating those ribs, reaching up and over, keeping that chin slightly in, so we don't want to have too much tension through that neck. And we'll finish with this one here. Okay, so let's just warm those legs up a little bit. Just pop your hands on your hips and just bring the knee towards the bottom and think about lengthening through the front of the legs. So just warming those legs up. And then we'll just go into a hamstring. So just bring your one leg forward, one leg back, poke the bottom back, and just reach up and back. So it's like I'm doing a little bow. Lengthening the back of the neck, I don't know my body parts, back of the leg. And let's swap it over to the other leg. So we're just warming up because it's a bit colder. So remember, when you're coming to the gym, you're getting a warm-up by getting ready, getting dressed and walking up those stairs. So now you might need a little bit of a warm-up before we start. And release it there. So now I want to do the hip flexors before we start, because we'll be doing some pelvic curls, and when we use our when we're using our butt, we want to be able to extend through the front of the hip. So come to a kneeling position. So 90-90. Make sure those hips are level, hip bones facing forward. Squeeze the bottom, use your lower abdominals to pull the pubic bone through and feel that stretch. To get a little bit more, place both hands on that knee, and it's like you're pulling the knee away from you and trying to get a little bit more of a stretch up here. So remember, we're cold. We don't want it to be a big stretch. Just go to that first point of tension, guys. Just think about opening up. Let's swap it over to the other side. So we're just warming up, not great big stretches. Tuck the pubic bone through, squeeze the bottom, hands on the other knee, go into that stretch, and if you need to, you're sort of pushing that knee forward as the hip stays back, and hopefully getting a little bit more stretch in that hip flexor. Keep breathing as well. And release it there. Come down to your lying position, we'll get started. Lying on your back. Your feet are about 1.5 of your feet distance away from your bottom. Tripods are on the feet. Bring your arms out to the side a little bit, and what this is going to do is help keep those front of the shoulders open, and let the front of the shoulders open and fall towards the floor. Tuck into your pelvis, like we did when we were standing, Ribs are floating back, chest is open. Slide your hands down towards your feet, but it's only a slight activation, so the shoulder blades are just sliding down the rib cage. I don't want you to over squeeze those shoulders and use your lat muscles to stabilize. So it's just a gentle pressing through. Practice your breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Don't worry about the T-zone just yet. Breathing in, separating those ribs, and then breath out. Keep going for me. Breathing into the ribs, expanding the ribs. A big exhale out, blowing all the air out so those ribs close. So that exhale breath is important to actually just automatically get to the transverse abdominis and for the ribs to close. If your transverse abdominis isn't working, the ribs will find it harder to close. And this is where we need it to be automatic. So hopefully when you're just breathing, it's happening. So now we'll just check now with the T-zone. So take a breath in. Exhale, lift the pelvic floor, hold. Another breath in. Scoop those lower abdominals back towards the spine. Keep breathing, shoulders relaxed. Now focus on the lower back muscles. So think about the lower back lifting up to meet the abdominals as well. So we're working on that whole corset, so nothing's changing in the spine. So it's not just about the front of the body, it's about the back of the body. So now we're connected. Holding that position, we're going into our pelvic curl. Press the feet into the floor, keeping the thigh bones still. Use your lower abdominals to curl the pubic bone towards the belly button so that pelvis is moving away from the thighs. Squeeze the butt cheeks together, peel the spine off as the hips with one vertebra at a time. And come up into that nice diagonal position. Back of the neck long, chin, shoulders relaxed. Feet pressing into the floor. Tuck the pubic bone, squeeze the bottom. Now I want you to open the rib cage. Feel your back arch. Doesn't feel the best. As you exhale, keep the hips high, close the rib cage. So we've gotten a little bit higher, but now we're protected. Again, open the rib cage, feel that back arch. Tuck the pubic bone under, squeeze the bottom, close the ribs. So now the upper body's relaxed. I'm not using my lats to push into the floor, and I'm peeling my spine one vertebra at a time. So everything is with control and precision. So keep going for me. Inhale here. Lower abdominals pulling the pubic bone through. Squeeze the bottom, peel the spine off, one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, check on that nice straight line, go in your own time, and then float that upper back down, one vertebra at a time, keeping the hips high. Let the lower back massage into the mat. The glutes will release and you'll unfold your pelvis back to neutral. Let's do two more. Inhaling, squeezing, lifting, peeling. Keeping that breath happening. Ribs are closed at the top. So the ribs are actual resistance for the glutes to work. Floating that spine back down. Let's do one more here. Really think about the front of the thighs stretching and releasing, tucking that pubic bone a little bit more, getting more out of the glutes, and coming back down. Okay. Let's just change our legs. So our feet and knees are squeezed together. So we're working the inner thighs now. So the tripods stay on the feet, and we're going back into that rolling position. So we will be working the inner thighs, the inner thigh muscles, and we're going to put the front of the legs under stretch. So you may not have as much flexibility here, but we need to work through it and get a little bit better. So tripods. Curl the pubic bone towards the belly button so the pelvis is rolling away from the thighs. Squeeze the bottom and rolling up one vertebra at a time. Feel that stretch through the front of the legs and come up to that diagonal position. Check the shoulders are relaxed, the face is relaxed. Floating that spine back down, squeezing the inner thighs, squeezing the bottom, and laying that pelvis back down. Keep going for me. Legs are still, pubic bone curls. Abdominals scoop. Hips are coming towards the ribs. The ribs stay closed. The shoulders are relaxed. The chest sinks in between the shoulder blades. Let's do one more. So even if you feel your spine isn't moving one at a time, just think about it and get that muscle-mind connection. We're going up again. Hold it here and just pulse the hips, look to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold that spine back down for me. Now keeping the feet the same, float your arms up. So the fingertips are reaching up towards the ceiling, arm bones are in the socket. Now again, we don't want to force the lats into the floor, so the shoulder blades are scooping down the rib cage under the armpit. So that's going to set your serratus. So when you set the serratus, you won't be pulling up with the front of your shoulder. So the pec should be relaxed here. So your shoulder muscles holding you up, and your serratus is holding you. Your neck is relaxed. So have that floating feeling. So remember, it's precision and control today to fix all these little things up. Sorry, we're going to hinge up this time. So hinge it up so we're not curling, okay? So knees are long, squeeze the bottom, lower the hips towards the floor, and lift. And lower. Shoulders are away from the ears. Blades are nice and flat on the shoulder blades. Underarms are sort of relaxed as well. Ribs are drawing down towards the hip, ribs are drawing back as the hips rise. And we're going a little bit quicker. Now let's go slow and lift. 4, 3, 2, 6 more. Squeeze. 4, 3, 2, hold it up the top. Lower the hips a little bit and press up to the ceiling for 10. 9, lift and press. 8, shoulders relaxed. 7, use your options, arms down. 6, 5, lower abdominals are working. 4, glutes are squeezing. 3, last 2, last 1, hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and float the spine back down, curl it back down. Bring the hands back down to the floor. Just bring the knees into the chest and have a little bit of a release there on the glutes. Well done, guys. That was half the knees. Okay, so we're going into some ab work here. So I'm just going to grab my little raise. I need that for my head today. So the feet and knees are squeezed together. Again, it's like you've got one leg. Interlock your fingers, put them on the top 2/3 of your head. So elbows are lifted into peripheral vision, and the elbows are reaching out to the corners of the room. The shoulder blades are gently down and back, don't over squeeze them. The lower half of the body stays still, so feet are planted, T-zones on, and I want you to think lower back muscles are lengthening the tailbone towards the floor. And again, it's 30%. Okay, so we've got in all the muscles around the spine, so that's sort of what we call a multifidus. It's protecting you from the back. Inhale here, crease at the ribs, exhale, curl up, eyes on the thighs. Control coming back down. Exhale, crease at the ribs, ribs towards the hips, the rectus and obliques are pulling you up, but the tailbone is staying planted. Keep going for me. Really feel the length at the back of the body as you're curling up and controlling it and lengthening as you're coming back down. Really planting those hips down and tailbone down. There's no movement. Think about the feet are stuck to the floor and you're trying to lift them off the floor, but you can't. The head is cradled in the hands, and remember that exhale breath is going to help you close the rib cage and get deeper connection with the TA. If you can, count with me 5 more. Anytime you need to take a break, please do. Keeping that chin slightly in. 4, 3, 2. On the next one, stay up there for me and really deepen those abdominals, tailbones down. Lower just a little bit and press it up for 10. Squeeze the knees together. 9, T-zone tight. 8, tailbone planted. 7, ribs to hips. 6, chest lifting. 5, neck relaxed. 4, chin in. 3, come up a little bit closer. 2, and the next one, hold it up there, squeeze it up, squeeze it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down for me. Well done, guys. Just let the shoulders come down and back, keep your hands here, and just lift your lift your heels off the floor. So we're on tippy toes, you're on your tippy toes. So check the T-zones on for that lower back, pressing into the floor but not imprinting ribs towards the hips. Curl your head and shoulders up, come tight, float the knees up, double leg lowers. Exhale, tap the toes towards the floor. Sorry, exhale to come up, my bad. Inhale to lower, and exhale to raise. So keep going for me. We want to make sure those thigh bones are moving without the hips moving. So this is called hip disassociation. So we want that thigh bone moving without the hips. As we lower the legs down, the lower abs are resisting that movement. Ribs to hips to lift up higher, and the hip flexors are working to bring the knees up without any tucking or arching of the back. So we're teaching the body to move more efficiently. Those lower abdominals have to work hard to resist. The T-zone is already on to flatten. 4, 3, 2. Bring the knees back up for me. Cement that position. 10 pulses. Go. 10, 9. Feel those abs. Breathing out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the feet down one at a time. Lower the head. Just reach your arms and legs out and have a nice full body stretch there. Just going to grab a drink while you're having a stretch. Let it dry. And release it there. Come back to your knee bend position. So again, we're still working on a few things. What we're working on that hip disassociation. So that means that thigh bone can move effectively in that hip joint without rocking through the pelvis. Then we've got hip flexion and abdominal activation, but the abdominals have to hold depending on the load without that spine changing. So when we decide what position we want our spine in, that's the activation. So we're going back to just knee floats. So again, your arms can be out to the side, palms up, so we're not squeezing and pressing the lats into the floor. Same thing, T-zone, neutral spine, shoulders down the back, the lower back muscles drawing up to meet the tummy, 30%. Inhale in, exhale, float your left leg up to tabletop, and lower it down with control. Exhale to lift, and lower. So think about the opposite oblique. So that's holding that hip back. So now the T-zone is working, and this opposite oblique is holding this hip back. So as we load up, this activation will get harder or more on. So I really want you to think what's happening. Thigh bone is floating away without the hip moving. Thigh bone is floating towards you. So we're working the inner thigh and the lower abs to bring that leg up. Tripod is on the other foot. That oblique has to work a little bit harder to stabilise the pelvis. Bring that leg up into tabletop. Okay. Activating that opposite oblique, T-zone. Extend that leg out 45 degrees. So we're reaching and pointing through the toe. Bend to the knee and glide it back in with control just into tabletop. Exhale to reach out and inhale to come back in. Keep going for me. Really reaching and pointing through the toes to activate all those muscles. Gliding it back in, so those hip flexors are working, the abdominals are working, T-zone's working. Nothing's overworking. So think, glide, think, press. Tailbone stays down, spine's neutral, shoulders are relaxed. 2 more here. Keep the leg extended out for this one. T-zone, tummy tight, lower the leg down and reach it up. I want you to keep the toe pointed to activate all of those muscles. If you feel it's a bit crampy, just relax that foot. So now what's happening with this other hip is it's staying back and the rib drawing towards the hips. Upper body doesn't need a lot of tension. So to make it easier, you just do smaller movements. To make it harder, you take it all the way down. So what you're looking at is this, the pelvis is staying still while this thigh is with the thigh bones moving in the socket. You'll feel a stretch as you bring the leg all the way up, but we're not tucking that tail under. So keep going for me. Feel what's happening in your pelvis and your hips. Okay, last one here, bring it back to 45 degrees. So we're just doing a lower and a lift, about 3 centimetres. So lower and lift. We're using the quads. Think that kneecap is drawing up the leg because those thigh muscles are working, and we're reaching that leg out of the hip socket. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that keep that leg out on the floor, out nice and straight, stretch it out, bring that knee in towards the chest, and just release that leg. So this is what it's about, getting the breath with the movement, what's happening in your body. If you feel that rocking and rolling, then you know that something's not working right, you might need to lower that intensity. So Pilates isn't just about doing a whole lot of reps, it's doing good reps and getting your body more functional. So it's for longevity as well. And again, all used in all the other classes. So we're building up to that higher intensity exercise. Swap it over, other leg now. So let's set everything, tripod, shoulders down and back. So just feel, actually, let's just show you what it feels like. When you press the shoulders down, and you're actually using the lats, and there's a lot of tension in the neck. So we don't want that. You won't get free movement in the shoulders. Those muscles need to come at a different point in time to activate. So they're relaxed. The shoulder blades are gently sliding down the back. The chest is open, the back of the neck onto you. So let's take this time to do our Pilates principles and make them better. So now float the right leg up, big breath this way. So I notice my tailbone tucked under. I'm going to do that again. So T-zone tight, inner thigh working, thigh bone moving in that socket. So from here, I'm going to float that leg down and then draw it back up. So the whole leg is lifting. So think about that inner thigh as well. So we're taking some pressure off the outer thigh. Lower abs are working as well, and they're working as we take the leg away. As we bring the leg up, the lower back is gently working to keep that lower back lengthened but connected. We're not forgetting about it. So every part of your body's got a little job to do here, even in a low level, but it's the amount of intensity you asked to have happen in your body. Let's go into the leg extension. Bring it up, slow and controlled. Reach and point. Bend and glide. Thigh bone moving away, pelvis still. Thigh bone coming towards you, pelvis still. Abdominals are activated. Lower back is gently activated. Upper body is relaxed. Reach and point, bend and glide back in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it out there. Lower the leg down and up. So I'm really reaching out of that thigh socket. Again, looking at my pelvis to make sure it's not moving. So as my leg's going away, I'm getting a stretch in that crease of the hip here because I'm not allowing myself to go into an anterior tilt. I'm getting a nice lengthening at the back of the hip because I'm not allowing my pelvis to go into a posterior tilt. I'm lengthening the muscles. So Pilates is about lengthening and stretching. So it's working on your mobility. Go back to your 45 degrees position and lower and raise it about 3 centimetres. So keeping the pelvis still. Think about the thigh bones drawing that kneecap. Sorry, the thigh muscles drawing the kneecap up the leg. Reaching that leg out of the socket. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lay that leg down, stretch it out, and then bring that knee towards the chest. Well done, guys. So we're really working on that slow, controlled breathing. What's happening in my body? And being aware, even if you think, oh my God, I am rocking and rolling. If you're aware of it, that's fantastic. You can change it. So that's what Pilates is all about. And release it there. Roll onto your side form. We're doing our side lying exercises. So let's just lie on your side. So firstly, the knees are bent, and the knees are 90 degrees, the shins are parallel, and you can lie on this outstretched arm on the bicep. So let's go through top hip pressing away. So we want to make sure waist is lifted. T-zone on, so top hip drawn towards the bottom hip. Make sure when we exhale, the ribs close. It's going to get to those deep abdominals. So let's just squeeze the heels together, open the leg, and then bring the leg up. So we're in a 90-degree angle here. Poke the bottom back. Lower the leg down and raise it up. So inhale to lower, exhale to raise. So imagine that your foot is up against a wall and it's sliding up and down. We're leading with the knee. We don't want the foot higher. We're just doing small but controlled. So it's going just below hip height and a little bit higher. To make it easy, you can go further without that hip rolling back. To make it easier, just go smaller. Just think what's happening. It's very easy to collapse into the underside waist. So for me, I need to think of the top hip pressing away, with the underneath waist coming towards me a little bit. That's just for my body. That's what I feel I need to do. So just loading it up. Okay, now keep it there. So we've got this angle the same. Push the top hip away, keep that angle, take the leg back behind you. We're stretching through here, squeezing the bottom without arching the back. Bring that knee in front without tucking the bottom under. So you might need to do a few to see what your range is. I don't want you to get a big range if you're arching and tucking. It's not the exercise. So again, as I'm bringing the leg forward, that lower back is on. As I'm taking the leg back, my rib to hips protecting me here so I don't arch the back. Keeping the bottom poking back, the back's working here. The abdominals are working a little bit harder here. So we're teaching that the right activation to allow the movement to be free but controlled. Anytime you need to stop and have a break, please do. And just do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just release it there and give it a little bit of a rest. We're going into our bicycle, so if you feel this is too much for you, you can do the previous exercise. With bicycle, bring your knees back a little bit to about 45 degrees. And we're just going to plan the leg up nice and straight. So reaching that hip out, all those things still apply. Bring that leg forward, bend that leg forward. Bring that leg forward, sorry. So it's coming straight in line with that knee. Bend the knee and take the leg back. So it's going forward, bend, back and around. So hopefully you've got that. So I want you to think that hip bone staying as still as you can. Keeping the knee facing forward and the leg in line with the hip. Squeezing the bottom the whole time if you can. let's go the other way. Sweep the leg back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done, guys. Give it a little bit of a rub, and let's roll over to the other side. So we've got our setup. Setup's always important. So even if you need a little bit more time for the setup and you're missing the first couple of repetitions, that's okay, as long as you're getting the best out of the exercise. So in the 90-90 position, top hip pressing away, waist lifted, T-zone, ribs to hips. Stand that leg up, separate the hip height, lower and raise. Okay, so poking the bottom back, ribs towards the hips. Getting that butt working. Again, work within your range. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bend the legs. So I might start with my knee is in line with the hip, but my ankle, my heels back. So sweep that leg forward, get the angle the same, and then sweep it back. So we're looking at rib to hips as we go back, lower back on and lengthening. We're not crunching through the vertebra, keeping that hip pressing away and no creases through the waist. Bring it forward as much as you can without tucking, as far back as you can without arching. Underneath legs pressing into the floor, you will feel it working because it was working before. And again, working between your range. 5, 4, 3, keep going guys. 2 up. This one then will be going into our bicycles and 1. So let's bring that leg forward, reach out in front, sweep it back. Make it nice and controlled, as big as you can, or as small as you need. Squeezing the bottom, just squeeze the leg back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go the other way. Take the leg back, bring it forward and bend. Back, forward and bend. Sweeping that leg forward. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release it there. Well done, guys. And before we go on to our backs, just come up into a seated position. Just do a cross-legged stretch just to release the glutes a little bit. Sitting up nice and tall. And again, you just reach forward and have a stretch. If this isn't comfortable for you, then you can always just go back onto your back and do your glute stretch, a figure 4 glute stretch, but it's just to give yourself a little bit of a release before we go on to the next lot of exercises. Really expand the ribs. Feel the glute stretch. Sink to the floor if you can. And roll back up. Good work, guys. So let's roll onto our tummies and we'll set up our lying posture when we're lying down. So for starters, we've got our hands out to the side in that goalpost position, and it's going to be where it's comfortable for you, whether your elbows are a little bit higher, lower, or along the shoulders. So my shoulders aren't as flexible, so don't think what I'm doing, you might be able to do it better than me, and that's okay. I'm a little bit restricted in my shoulders. So firstly, lengthen the legs out long and relax them. Lift the pelvic floor. Draw those lower abdominals, so that's going to be your transverse, lifting the lower abdominals away from the floor, and the lower back is lengthening the tailbone towards the floor. Use the lower abdominals now, so that lower part of the rectus, to draw the pubic bone towards the mat. Ribs stay down. So I've got my hands out onto this goalpost position, and you're going to have your head down, but I'm having mine up while I speak to you. So my thumbs are up towards the ceiling, so my palms are facing my ears. So when we've got our head down, we're going to draw the shoulders down and back gently, using the lower traps, not the lats. Tummy's tight, and just lift your face just off the floor, okay? So this is not real easy for me, you guys might find it easier. So we're working the rotator cuff muscles a little bit here, and upper back extension. So you're going to lift your hands off the floor without lifting your elbows, and lower. So my external rotators don't like this, I need to work them more, and lower. If you start to feel it in your back, check that T-zone. Slow and control, and lower. Back of the neck long, chin in. If you need to rest your head down in between, please do. But we really want the head in line with the spine, and that thoracic spine extended slightly, so we can get more room in the shoulders and neck to try and rotate. It's not a big movement for me, I don't know about you guys. So it's just slow and controlled. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Stay there for me if you can. So now, keeping the hands higher, you're going to lift the elbows off the floor as well. But we don't want the elbows higher than the hands. Then touch them back to the floor, keeping that chest lifted, upper thoracic extended slightly. So you're lifting the elbows up off the floor, using the back of the shoulders. Shoulder blades are flat against the mat. Your ribs are not over squeezing. 5, 4, 3, 2. On the next one, hold it up there and pulse the hands back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can, stay here for me. Extend your arms out to a wide V position. Shoulder blades are wide on the rib cage. Bend the elbows and draw them back in, keeping that chest slightly lifted. Reaching the arms out as you're breathing in and out, and exhale, draw the elbows back in, upper back extended. 2 more. A little bit tough. Tummy pushing away. Last one here. Just bring your hands back onto your forehead and release, or don't rise. Hands beside you, so we're into our swan prep. So back of the neck long, chin in, legs are lengthened and soft, tummy tight. Chin in slightly. Inhale, lift the upper back and head up towards the ceiling, crown of the head out in front. Inhale, lower the chest back down with control. So actually the breathing should be inhale to lift. It's better for your thoracic extension. Exhale to lower. So as you're doing this, you're not pressing the hands into the floor. We're strengthening the upper thoracic. Think about the chest shining a light forward as we're lifting up, and control of lowering down. So if you need to stay here, please stay here. I'm going up into swan. I may not get to full swan, that's okay. We'll work into it. So it is inhale to lift the back. Exhale, pressing away. So the hands are pressing through the floor as I'm lifting up to my comfortable position without the shoulders coming up. Shoulders down and back. Bend the elbows towards the floor, but keeping that chest lifted, and then lower the chest and the face. So I want you to choose your range, okay? Inhale to lift, tummy tight. Exhale to reach the hands into the floor, shoulders down and back, chin slightly in. Bend the elbows, keeping the chest high, lowering that down. Let's do 2 more. Lift, press, hold. Elbows, chest, face. Last one here. Chest, elbows, reach. Elbows, chest, and face. Well done, guys. So let's come up into your child pose stretch. So just bring your knees underneath you. Sit back, whatever's comfortable for you. Reaching your arms out. Chins in, and really breathing into the back of the ribs. Reaching the armpits towards the floor, relaxing into this position, chin in. You can rest your head down. Options, you can have your hands here. You can have your knees higher if your knees don't like it, or you can roll onto your back with the knees towards your chest. Let's stretch out the lats a little bit, so reach your hands over to your left, right hand's on top, reach that hand away as you're reaching the hip away. So feeling that stretch, chins in, separating all those muscles down the side of the waist. Taking note of what side is tighter when we change over to the other side, so you know which is your tighter side. So my left side is tighter, I need to work on. Reaching that hand forward, pulling the hip back, chin in. Feel that nice stretch. Just keep breathing. Release it, then come into a seated position with your legs crossed for me in front. A little bit more of a stretch. So reach your left arm up, the other arm is out to the side, bend the elbow, just come over. And if you can, you don't have to rotate and reach down. So getting a stretch, get a little bit of what's called the QL. So I'm pulling my hip away, rotate to the front and come back up other side. So this hand reaches towards the floor, other arm up. This is my tighter side, so I bend the elbow and come over. My right side's been so tight for so long, I've been working on it and it's really good, and then our left side feels really tight. So ask Joe, he's my trainer, and it always happens. I fix one side and something goes on now. So you've got to think of both sides of your body, it's really important. Rotate to the front, come up, reach your arms up, then on flop, hold the energy out, and again up, and flop, and two more up, flop, and last one here, up, flop, and guys, we are done. So thank you so much, I hope you enjoyed the class, and we'll see you back here tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow, yes. Okay, thanks guys, see you later.
Great, cool.